Well, it's official. Your taste in movies is officially garbage. Oh, come on. That movie sucked, and you know it. You just don't want to admit it. Hidden gem my ass. It had a 10% review on Rotten Tomatoes. You know damn well this was going to be a bad movie. So you genuinely enjoyed that movie. Okay. Then what was the ending again? Well, I just asked the question, and if you just love the movie we just watched, well, I'm sure you can just give me the ending. Oh, you don't know the ending? Really? Yeah, it was almost like you were asleep half the time, wasn't it? You're fine. Just admit that it was a bad movie. I won't be mad. Plus, it was so bad it was good at times, so I'll forgive you. Plus, I mean, you did pay for the tickets. Hey, all I'm saying is it's your wasted money, not mine, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's not the end of the world. It was like $8 a ticket. You won't go broke over that. And if you somehow do, though, I will be ever so kind to lend you a total of $16 to afford rent this month. I'm joking, I'm joking. You know I'd let you stay even if you skip 3 months of rent. That doesn't mean you can actually skip 3 months of rent, though. Having money is pretty nice, and that apartment is too expensive to rent alone. Actually, now that I think about it, to make sure that my poor little roommate won't go broke this month, I'll treat you. There's a coffee place nearby. We haven't been there in a while, right? Come on, you know it. The one we used to go to when we were younger, back in high school. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it still exists. The owner did change. The son of the old man took it over 4 years ago, but it's still as cozy as ever. Come on, I'll take you and treat you to something, and we'll be even. Although, let's be real, drinking a coffee at that place is still better than the movie. Hey, I'm just saying, you'll be fully awake the entire time you drink the coffee, unlike how you were sleeping through half of the movie. Oh, sweetheart, it's cute that you think I'll drop that for the time being. You're gonna be stuck with your awful choice in movies for a pretty long time. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Plus, we can both agree that a cup of coffee at that place is better than the average movie. Exactly. Now come on, the place closes in an hour and it's your fault if we're too late. Just like I remember. The floorboards, which make more sound than a heavy metal concert, the cracks in the wall, which are covered up by paint, which clearly only lasted for a week, and the beautiful coffee machine, which only works a third of the time. Well, despite all the flaws that this place has, it's still very cozy, don't you think? It really hasn't changed much since we were in high school. Like, what? They painted over the walls like once more, and that's about it. Other than that, this place just feels like home. Well, a second home, I guess. Whenever we had issues or we just weren't feeling it that day, skip class and get a coffee here. Hey, we were just lucky the owner really didn't care that we were skipping school. After all, business is business, and we were still paying customers, so he couldn't really complain all too much. It's a miracle the coffee is still as good as I remember, though, especially since I swear the coffee machine breaks even more than it did back in the day. No, I'm pretty sure it's still the same one. Well, if you're just dying to know, remember that one time where we drew on it with Sharpie? Just check if that's still there later. You think they clean the coffee machine? Aw, that's cute. Please, this place is probably violating a million health and safety codes, but I don't care. We haven't gotten poisoned yet. I'd say that's a pretty good start. Now, to change the subject for a bit, I must say, I was quite surprised when you asked me out last week. Well, I mean, I just always had a feeling that you weren't all that interested. I mean, I've had a crush on you for quite a while, any sort of vague hints I dropped, you just brush off, so I just assumed there was someone you liked, you know? Well, either that, or you are one of the densest people I have ever met. Which, I mean, it's you, so that wouldn't surprise me much. Hey, I don't mean anything by that. Don't worry your pretty little head about it. Still love you. But, yeah, I'll give you credit where credit's due. You did something I was too afraid to do. When you asked me on a date earlier this weekend, I felt fine. I got really, really excited too. Because, God, this is so embarrassing. You went to go hang out with a friend later that night, and when you left, I just, freaked out is a bit of an understatement, I guess. Only then it hit me what had just happened, and honestly, I couldn't wait for the date. Yet now, for some reason, I'm really nervous, I guess. Hey, the movie wasn't as nerve-wracking because I was distracted by how bad it was, thank you very much. I guess me being nervous comes from the parts that you don't know about me, I guess. I mean, we've been roommates for 2 years? Close to 2 years, I believe. But I'm sure there's still a lot you don't know about me yet. And there's a lot that I don't know about you yet. Well, for example, let me just outright admit I am most definitely not the ideal roommate. Well, there are several things that happened that you may or may not have been kept in the dark about. Just maybe. Okay, so, remember 2 weeks into us moving in together, we suddenly started noticing this really awful, disgusting smell? Then we checked the floorboards, and we found all this gross, spoiled food under there, and the place smelled awful for weeks. Well, back then, we concluded the previous homeowner did that, but I may or may not have had a little housewarming party the week prior. And while you were gone, we put the leftover food there because, you suddenly came home and I figured you'd be mad about the party, which you were, and you almost yelled at me and I thought you were gonna kick me out, even though we both pay the same amount on rent. So then I figured, before you actually came into the room, I'd try and minimize the damage a little bit. And it just so happened that the first thing my mind went to was stuffing some of the leftover food in the floorboards so it wouldn't seem like there was as much of a mess as it actually was. Okay, now hold on. Before you try and murder me with your gaze, which I know for a fact you're doing, I was planning to clean up the next day. But then I sort of forgot about it until you pointed out the smell. And at that point, I just decided to play the silent game, because I was not about to admit, oh yeah, by the way, I left rotting food for a week down underneath our house. You're welcome. Well, this was like 2 weeks into us moving in, and we didn't know each other as well as we do now. I figured, since, well, you know me better now, and if you were to find out about this, which, I mean, I just told you, maybe there was less of a chance I'd get kicked out of the house. Okay, but for real, I guess what I'm trying to say is, there is a lot that you don't know about me yet, and I'm very nervous that if you find out the bad things, maybe you won't want to go on a second date, and just, I don't want you to think any less of me because of this, and just... Okay, that is one way to shut me up. I don't know what to do now. Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't let this get to me as much, and should just enjoy the moment, and I should enjoy being with, well, the girl I like. And now we're even. Do you want to go home now? I'd say that's a pretty good end on a first date, don't you think? Yeah, I love you too.